Hello students, how are you all? Are you fine? I Dr. Lal Babu Jaiswal, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Commerce, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, India. I have presented in previous class regarding to the advance payment of the tax. Pay as you earn. Advance payment of the tax, pay as you earn, I have presented. In that class, we have discussed about the section 207, section 208, section 209, section 210, section 211, section 234C and other sections regarding to the provisions. Dear students, we have also discussed about the numerical problem of the advance payment of the tax. And I have also discussed the how to income tax, how to tax on income is computed. So at this time, we have discussed about the such types of component which is related to the advance payment of the tax. But now I am going to present the assessment of Hindu undivided family. Assessment of Hindu undivided family. Hindu undivided family having the two types of schools, Mitachara schools and Dayabhagu schools. Mitachara schools and Dayabhagu schools, such types of Hindu undivided family business is run by a person, and that person is selected by the other member of the family, and that person is called the Karta. So dear students, with these themes, with this view, I am just presenting and discussing about the assessment of Hindu undivided family. We know Hindu undivided family is also called a assessee. Hindu undivided family is also treated as under the person. So dear students, dear friends, in the case of Hindu undivided family, who can have an HUF? How a HUF can be created? Co-partners versus member of HUF differences. How the affairs of Hindu undivided family are managed. Next, residential status under the income tax law. So dear friends, these are the points on which we will discuss about these types of points and these types of terminology regarding to Income Tax Act 1961. So dear students, the term Hindu undivided family has not been defined by in the various Hindu acts. The term Hindu undivided family has not been defined under the various Hindu acts. Various Hindu acts having Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956, Hindu Succession Act 1956, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. So dear friends, these types of sections not refers any types of term Hindu undivided family. So Hindu undivided family, this slide represent the schools of Hindu undivided family. Dear students, in the case of this chapter, that is Hindu undivided family, I have already told Hindu undivided family having two types of schools, Mitachara schools and Dayabhagu schools. Under the Mitachara schools, Banaras Hindu Law School, Madras Law School, Mithila Law School, Maharashtra Law School, Punjab Law School. Under the Dayabhagu schools, they are Tata, they are Karm Sangha, Veer Mitrodaya and Datka Chandrika. These are the schools are included under the Daya Bhag schools. So dear friends, under such types of Mitachar schools was established by the Vijayanvara, a scholar from the Chalukya dynasty in the 10th century. His work, the Mitachara, is a respected text of Hindu law, especially a commentary on the Yajnavalkya Smriti. This school is mainly followed in the North India and has wide influence. Under the Mitachara schools, the family property is important, where our family members have a claim to unsettled property. The property is inherited through the male lineage and sons share it equally. The Mitachara schools also recognize the right to create a will to distribute property. In the Mitachara schools, when a child born, he having a right to distribute in the case of unsettled property or unsettled asset. So dear students, in the Mitachara schools, these terminology are included. But in the Daya school, the Daya school was founded by Jimut Swatna, a 12th century scholar for Bengal. His work in Daya is a significant text on Hindu law in Bengal. This school is mainly followed in Bengal and Eastern India. Dear student, the Daya school emphasizes personal ownership of property, allowing an owner to control its distribution. Dear student, it acknowledges women's right to inherit property, ensuring daughters receive an equal share of ancestral property. Dear students, in the case of Surjit Lal Chhabra versus CIT AIR 1976, Supreme Court 109, the apex code held that, dear students, a joint Hindu family consists of a person lineally descended from a common ancestral and include their wives and unmarried daughter. Dear students, in the case the daughter having on a marriage ceases to be member of her father's family and become a member of her husband's family, because in this case, in this line, with the view and sense of the line, after the marriage of a daughter child, he had not any right in such types of property which is laid down as an ancestral asset in joint Hindu family. The joint Hindu family is thus a larger body consisting a group of a person who are united by the tie of sponsorship arising by the birth, marriage or adoption. And dear students, under the HUF, under the Hindu undivided family is creature of a law. Dear student, so on the basis of this discussion, we can say Hindu undivided family is an undivided group of direct descendants of a common ancestral, including their wives and unmarried daughters. Dear students, in the case of Hindu undivided family is a sum of member of all types of their members and including their wives and unmarried daughters. Dear students, in the case of co-parceners, we can say who is co-parcener. So on the basis of Hindu law and the judgment which was given by the apex court, a person who acquire a right in the unsettled property by birth, and a person with the right to demand partition in the HUF property will be co-parcener. So who is co-parcener? Co-parcener is a person who having the right in the case of property of Hindu undivided family by birth, or the right to demand partition in the HUF property will be treated as a co-parcener of Hindu undivided family. Dear students, prior to the amendment made by the Hindu Succession Amendment Act 205, the Hindu Undivided Amendment Succession Act, Hindu Succession Amendment 2005, only main member of a family had a right to unsettled estate by birth, and they were only entitled to demand partition in the Hindu undivided family property, and thus only main member were called co-parcener. But after the 2005 amendments, even daughter having a right to equal that of a son. Dear students, before amendment of 2005, only main member having the right to divide the property of Hindu undivided family, to divide the property of unsettled asset. But after amendments of 2005, the main member having also a right, the main member have also equal right that of a son. So can the daughter become co-parcener? What is the status of married daughter co-parcenery right? Can the wife become co-parcener of her husband HUF? So after amendment, post amendment of 2005, the questions are arising. So can the daughter become co-parcener? What is the status of married daughter co-parcenery right? And can the wife become co-parcener of her husband's HUF? So dear students, member cannot demand the partition. Co-parcener can demand the partition. Dear students, this slide represent the member versus co-parceners. Member of Hindu undivided family having no right to demand any types of partition position, but the co-parcener having the right of demand of a partition. Dear students, member cannot become karta, but co-parcener can only become karta. Karta is a person who run the business on own behalf and behalf of all members of the family. Dear students, karta of the Hindu undivided family is obligated to pay the volume of tax to Government of India. Dear students, karta is a person who selected by the other co-parceners, all co-parceners of Hindu undivided family. This types of person as a karta may be senior member of the family or junior member of the family, but the person who is selected by other co-parcener of the family will be treated as a karta of Hindu undivided family. Dear students, who is a karta? Who is a karta? First, manager of the family, manager of the family's property. He has a responsibility to take care of family property. The senior most male member of the family is a karta. So who is a karta? Karta is a manager of family property. Karta is having the responsibility to take care of the family property, and karta is also senior most male member of the family. So dear students, these types of Karta having the such types of right. In the present slide, section 2 subsection 31, HUF is a separate person. HUF is a separate person and HUF is also treated as an assessee, and HUF is also liable to pay the volume of tax to government. Dear students, according to under the Income Tax Act, HUF is a separate entity, that means assessable independently from other family members. Section 56 subsection 2, class 10, whether property or money received by the Hindu undivided family from its member is taxable in the hands of HUF. Dear student, to Hindu undivided family member is considered as a relative. Dear student, reference is made to the section 56 subsection 2, subclass 7, gift received by the Hindu undivided family from the member is not forming part of asset of the Hindu undivided family. Dear students, there is some question. The question is, what about the converse situation, that is gift received by the member of HUF? If any member of the Hindu undivided family received any types of gift or gifts received by the member from Hindu undivided family, so there are some types of provisions, and first is, can one say that a family group of relatives, lineal ascendants or descendants which are otherwise considered as a relative should also be covered in the meaning of relatives, as to exclude the gift received by the member from HUF. So dear students, this is the first step. Section 10 of Income Tax Act, which is related to the exemption of the income not included in the total income. Dear students, income from Hindu undivided family business, section 10 subsection 2 is not included at all while we computing the value of total income. In computing the total income of the previous year of any person, any income falling within any of the following clause shall not be included. Next topic is creating corpus capital of HUF. Dear student, in case of creating corpus or capital of HUF, asset received as a gift by the Hindu undivided family, relatives or non-relative, the gift from non-relative should not exceed rupees 50,000. Dear students, any asset passed on by will that favors of HUF, any property which is transferred in favor of HUF, any asset may be transferred in favor of HUF, and this transfer is based on the will. Dear students, in this case, any asset received on the partition of a larger HUF of which the co-parcener was member like an HUF in which the co-parcener's father or grandfather was the karta. Dear students, in this case, that property which is received on the partition of a larger Hindu undivided family of which the co-parcener was the member like Hindu undivided family in which the co-parcener's father or grandfather was the karta. Dear students, There are some provisions regarding to the Hindu undivided family property acquired from the sale of joint family property. Dear students, member infusing capital or treating their asset or as a Hindu undivided family property, whether clubbing provision under section 64 would be get involved. Dear students, it is very important point to note that capital infusion should be done taking into account the clubbing provision under section 64 subsection 2 of Income Tax Act 1961. Dear students, at the time of clubbing the income, this point should be carryable point, and this point is capital infusion should be done taking into account the clubbing provision under section 64 subsection 2 of Income Tax Act 1961. Dear students, clubbing of income under section 64 refers where in the case of an individual being a member of Hindu undivided family, any property having been the separate property of the individual has any time after 31st day of December 1969 been converted by the Hindu undivided into the property belonging to family through the act of impression, such separate property with the character of property belonging to the family or throwing it into the common stock of the family or being transferred by the individual directly or indirectly to the family otherwise than for adequate consideration, the property so converted or transferred being hereinafter referred to as the converted property, then notwithstanding any contained in any other provision of this act or any other law of the time being in force for the purpose of computing of the total income of Hindu undivided under the act for any assessment commencement or after first day of the April 1971. So dear students, this is the provision of the clubbing of income, clubbing of property under the Hindu undivided family section 64. So dear student, section 64, this is refer. In the present slide, there are some provisions regarding to the related to the Hindu undivided family, that the individual shall be deemed to have transferred the converted property through the family to the member of the family for being held by them jointly. And second point is the income derived from the converted property or any part thereof shall be deemed to arise to individual and not the family. Dear student, if any property is transferred by Hindu undivided family to any member of the family and afterward any income is derived by the this types of property, so this types of income will be taxable in the hands of that member, not in the income of the family. And third point is where the converted property has been subject to matter of partition, where partial or total among the member of the family. The income derived from such converted property as is received by the spouse or partition shall be deemed to arise to spouse from asset transferred indirectly by the individual to spouse, and the provision of subsection first shall so far as be apply accordingly. Dear students, at the time of computation of income of Hindu undivided family business as a assessee, there are no separate rules for computing of income from for HUF. It is computed in a manner similar to any other assessee. First is Hindu undivided family is not a natural person. Therefore, it cannot be employed. So, in the case of Hindu undivided family, salary income is not included at all. For salary income, employer and employee relation are necessary. As such, Hindu undivided family cannot have income from salary. For similar reason, Hindu undivided family cannot earn income from profession. In order to practice any profession, there is need of professional qualification which cannot be available for HUF. It will be available for individual of the member. Second thing is Hindu undivided family. Second thing is Hindu undivided family cannot earn. Hindu undivided family can earn income from house property when it acquires any house property with own capital. Hindu undivided family can earn income from business as also capital gain. With a deposit, loan, shareholding, etc., income from other sources can be earned by the Hindu undivided family. We can say Hindu undivided family at the time of assessing the income from house property, income from business, capital gain, and income from other sources are included. Dear students, at the time of computation of the total income as well as gross total income, deduction under chapter 6A can be available by the HUF. Dear student, the resulting income is subject to tax. In the case of HUF has a agricultural land, so it can earn tax-free income from agriculture. Similarly, any tax-free investment can be acquired by HUF and can earn tax-free income for example, tax-free RBI bonds, etc. So it is note down point. This types of income which is exempt as a agriculture income and agriculture income is related to the such types of specified tax-free bonds like as a RBI bonds and other. Dear students, there are some types of incomes which are not taxed as a income of HUF. Hence, following incomes are not treated as a HUF income. First, if a member has converted or transferred without adequate consideration his self-acquired property into joint family property, income from such property is not taxable in the hands of the family. Second thing is income from impartible estate, though it belongs to family, is taxable in the hands of holder of estate and not in the hands of HUF. Next one is personal income of the members cannot be treated as an income of Hindu undivided family. Next one, Stridhan is absolute property. Stridhan is absolute property of a woman, hence the income arising therefrom is not taxable as an income of HUF. And last one is income from Hindu undivided family of a daughter is not taxable in the hands of Hindu undivided family even if such property is vested into HUF by the daughter. Dear students, these incomes are not part of the income of the HUF. So dear students, with these provisions regarding to the Hindu undivided family, I hope you got each and every point at the time of assessment of the Hindu undivided family business and Hindu undivided family income. So with this hope, I thanks to each and everyone for your nice cooperation and for your nice listening. Any problem, any query, so without any hesitations you can contact to me. I will meet you in to further class with a further topic. So thanks to each and everyone.